Hello, everyone, and welcome to Daily Trader. I'm Kevin Hinks. I'll be taking you through the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. We have two trades to look at today, two high-profile names, two names that are linked in many ways. We'll look at Amazon and we'll look at Google Alphabet. Google Alphabet has some news out today that we'll talk about. But first, let's get to Amazon. Remember, in the world of cloud computing, there's three major players. There's a couple other smaller ones, but three major players. It's AWS, which is Amazon, the clear leader. It's Microsoft Azure, and then it's Google Cloud. Those are the three major players in cloud computing. So Amazon and their AWS, the demand for cloud computing in the AI revolution, these are the companies that are going to be used more and more. And it's not a matter of market share, it's a matter of the pie getting bigger in cloud computing. So Amazon, Microsoft Azure, Google Alphabet, selling the picks and shovels of cloud computing is key here. Not to mention, Amazon's got all these different parts of their business like e-commerce, like Prime Video, like so many major components to the US economy. But for trading Amazon right now, if you look at it on a yearly basis, the stock has had an incredible run. Last 12 months, it's up over 50% in the last 12 months. I've got it right around 54%, 23% in the last 6 months. The problem is, something we talk about a lot here, is these stocks are all have made incredible runs and are getting overbought on a short-term relative strength basis. Here's a buy the dip strategy. It's called a 1/2 back ratio. It is a long put vertical with also added onto it a cash secured put. And the chart that we're looking at here in Amazon is, we want to buy, we're going to with the DEAS 27, very short-term landscape here, only about 2 weeks. Buying the DEAS 27 expiration 225 put, and then selling 2 of the 222.5 puts. Now, what does that do for you? Number one, it gives you a 225, 222.5 put vertical, but it also gives you a short cash secured put at the 225 level. And what does, if it were to go down towards that 222 strike, you would lower your break even by the profits made on the 225, 222 put vertical. Now, the other good news is, if Amazon were to go to straight up and not go down at all, you're doing this trade for a credit. So there's no upside exposure to this. If you do it for a credit and the stock goes up, everything goes to zero, and you simply make whatever credits you sold it for. The risk is the same as any cash secured put or the stock. It's the downside all the way to zero. So the interesting thing about this trade is the break, where you would enter. Let's say if it gets down there and you would come out of this long 100 shares of Amazon, your break even is $219.19 if you do this for the 85-cent credit that we have there on the screen. If you're able to do that, that's where you would enter Amazon. So from where it's trading right now, a full $8 and change lower than where it is. If it goes up, right, you make the credit. But if it were to go right to 222.5, then the puts go to zero, and the put vertical goes to $2.50. That's where you see that little peak, that short peak in that spread, where you make money on the put vertical and make money on the short cash secured put. But other than that, anything under 222.5, you would get long 100 shares of Amazon. So there's a way to trade with no upside exposure, but trading a little bit from the short side in Amazon with a hope to buy the dip at a lower level if it gets down there. So that's our trade in Amazon. Now let's get to our second trade, and that is Google Alphabet. Google Alphabet had some news out this morning, and that YouTube raised their prices from $72.99 to $82.99. Pretty significant price hike there. Remember, YouTube debuted in 2017 at $35 a month. Now it's going to be $83 a month. That takes effect in January 13th. Now, Google Alphabet, another stock that's had a pretty incredible run. Its RSI sits right at 68.5, right close to the overbought category, and it's had an incredible run as high as $195, now sitting at around $191 and some change. So how do we want to play this? Again, all of these stocks, the entire market has run an incredible way, and you've got to be a little bit careful here from some downside exposure. But how do you play this from a more passive exposure? And that is the short put vertical. So I went out again to the January 3rd expiration, slightly longer, about three full weeks. January 3rd is 21 days, 3 full weeks. And I looked at the short 185, 175 put vertical. And that is trading, I put it in around 135. It's trading around 135, 137 right now. So that's about right. This is a way to get passively short about 18 deltas. It's collecting theta. It's risk defined. It's got a probability of out of the money. I'll give you the exact number. It was about 77%, 185, about 72% now. 72% probability that the 185 put finishes out of the money on January 3rd. So you are trading high probability. You are collecting theoretical theta each day, and you are risk defined. Now, a short put vertical, a high probability short put vertical, is always going to skew the risk to the negative, right? If you collect $1.35 on this spread, the risk, the difference between the strikes and the credit you take in, which is about $865. So that's the risk on this trade. It's a high probability trade, but obviously the risk outweighs the credit, which is the max profit you can make on this trade is the credit received. So there's always something to understand. The risk on the 1/2 back ratio is the downside on the cash secured put, the same as the stock or any cash secured put. The risk on the short put vertical is the difference between the strikes and whatever credit you take in. So two stocks that prepare you for the downside, but take advantage if it doesn't go on the downside. A short put vertical in Google Alphabet and a back ratio 1/2 in Amazon. All right, that's Daily Trader for today. I'm Kevin Hinks. Have a great day and a great afternoon, everyone. We'll see you Monday with another edition of Daily Trader.